right, so we're in the third part of this personal jingle journey. We are going to now add our third track so we can try our melodies. To start, click Add Track. We're going to add another instrument track. At this point, before you go any further, dramatic. Make sure that you have your bass and your drum machine just as I do at the top. So you will have had to have gone through the first two videos first, okay? Now, eventually, after we record our melody, you can change your grand piano to a different instrument, okay? You can change it to something else after. But while we're recording, just so we can clearly hear the notes that we're trying to record, make sure that you're on grand piano, okay? Make sure that you are on grand piano. Awesome. So to start, we are only going to choose from a few select notes that we can play, all right? We're going to have grand piano. Make sure that we have octave 3, okay? If it sounds different than that, just double check. Make sure it says octave 3 right here. Make sure that it says octave 3 right here, all right? Now, let's open up the lyrics/notes tab. Do we see this right here? Lyrics/notes. And we're going to add the notes that we are allowed to play, okay? For our purposes, the notes that we can play are Z, C, V, B, and N, okay? You can play any of those notes in any order. All right, I also don't care how you set them up in the notes tab. You can set them up like this, doesn't matter. But I only want you to play these notes so we don't get overwhelmed trying to write our melodies, okay? Now, we're going to have to practice before we even think about recording. So don't hit record right away. Okay, you're not ready yet. Don't hit record right away. Now, to practice, we're going to want to make sure that we have our loop on. Do we see where I'm clicking? If it's red, a nice strong red, your loop is on. If it's a faded red like this, your loop is off. So make sure that your loop, L-O-O-P, loop, is on, so that way when you play, it's going to play, and then it's going to get all the way to the end and start again. Now, it's going to automatically start again when it finishes, which if we're practicing, is what we want. And there it is. All right? So let's make sure that we're at the beginning. I'm about to press play, and I'm going to practice playing the notes Z, C, V, B, and N. Okay? I don't have to play them in that order. I don't have to use the mouse. I would suggest using the keyboard, okay? Your actual keyboard, your Chromebook keyboard. All right? We're going to play those notes in any order, along with our previously recorded drums and bass. Okay. Now, we're not going to record yet. We're just going to try to play along and think of something that we like. Watch as I do it, and then we'll pause the video, and you can do it yourself. So watch as I do it, and then you can pause the video and do it yourself. All right. I'm going to wait. Here we go. Getting a feel for the song. Getting a feel for it. Okay. kind of have an idea of what I want to play now. And even if I record it and don't like it, you know what? Gosh darn it, I can try again. So I'm going to set myself back up to the beginning. Okay. I'm going to get these notes ready. Okay, I'm going to play Z, C, V, B, and N. Okay. I'm going to look at my keyboard. Where on my keyboard are those notes? I see them. Okay. And I'm ready to record. And then when I was finished, I pressed the space bar or the stop button, and I'm going to listen to it now, okay? My expectation is that I'm going to have to move some notes around in the MIDI editor, just like I did with my bass track earlier. And if you notice, there's a whole lot more notes now, so that might take a little bit of time. But let's listen to it and then decide. Yeah, so I actually really like the melody. I like the way that it sounds on its own, such as this, right? If I put the solo on. Yeah, I like that a lot, but it's a little slow, just like the bass was initially. So if I go to my instrument, which I'm actually going to call melody, and I go down to my MIDI editor, let's scroll to the beginning. Okay, so yeah, right off the bat, I can see I want this to be on 1. It seems like everything is a little bit late. Let's see, how does that sound? Yeah, that's late too. Everything seems to be late about this much space. We see this right where I'm pointing. And that could be a computer issue. It could be the way that I'm hearing the song. Now let's listen to that. Let's see. Yeah, that sounds good now. So I'm going to go through. Just going to move everything up a little bit to the line right before. See this line right here? Up, 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 up. There we go. Keep going. And let's listen to that. Let's see. Whew, I like that a lot. But that last note, this guy was still a little bit late here. Let me move this up to 4.4. Okay. Let's listen to this again. Wow, this could be in a Pokemon game or something. Okay, now, remember, when you go to record yours, or if you have already recorded yours, you're not trying to play the exact same melody, the same note structure as me. That's not what's important, okay? What you are trying to do is use the same notes, Z, C, V, B, and N, the same keys in your keyboard, but in your own genre, a jingle that sounds good to you, something that's catchy, that's fun for you, okay? So if you want, now that you've changed, you've recorded, you have moved everything around in the MIDI editor, it sounds good to you, you know, make sure that you've done that. The MIDI editor is very important, or else your stuff will sound behind, okay? Make sure that you've worked with the MIDI editor. Once you've done that, folks, okay, now you can change the instrument, but only after you've recorded successfully with the grand piano and you've used the MIDI editor. If I was to go to synth keys, what if I did synth organ? What does this sound like? Not bad. What if I did synth pads, soft pad? All right, right off the bat, not a fan of that. Let's change that. Okay, synth leads, hyper pop synth. What does this sound like? Yep, nope. Again, right off the bat, not a fan of that one. Welcome pad. don't know if it's a keeper, but it's very interesting. All right, so you see what I'm doing, what I am doing. I've recorded. I used my MIDI editor to make sure that everything was in the right spot. And now I'm just messing around and choosing the instrument that I want. At this point, after you've done all those things, make sure you click Save, and then we can pass it into the folder on the document. Make sure that it's labeled, and you'll be good. All right, folks. Good luck. Feel free to add more sounds if you want, and I can't wait to hear them.